We're okay. There we go.
All right, dude. Damn, my bad.
No, that's all good. That's all good. And I'm still learning this shit too.
I think you had requested my other account. That's why I didn't want to like go on that one, but
Yeah, I did
good.
because I seen you were on there, but so I sent it to both. But all right. I'm 619 Sebs or Seville Hayes on all platforms. Here we got go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, the Bruce V. Go by Bruce. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Um, Excited to just talk, bro. It's been a minute.
I know it's been a
It's been
minute
a
since
minute.
we talked, man. Like I think that's been like a trend. Besides people that are local to me, right? Like like some of my old guys, right? That was the first time us talking is getting on these lives or even preparing for these lives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, how you been?
Been good, bro. I've just been working. I mean, you've probably been seeing my stuff. I know we tried connecting before, but yeah, dude, I've just been grinding it out, posting. I know you're kind of back on that training, so probably similar stuff to you, but more geared towards bodybuilding right now. So,
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I know. I seen you getting big, man.
yeah,
You
dude,
finally just started to get big, man.
I'm
Like
trying, bro.
these last few years, man, you've been putting on size, man. Like crazy. Looks good.
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks, bro.
yeah, like I guess we'll start there, right? Uh, we're teammates. For anybody that didn't know, we were teammates in the past at Palomar College and stuff like that on wrestling. Um, let's start out with the first question, man. What made you decide to get into bodybuilding?
Yeah, so I've always been into the gym. So like even when I was in junior college at Palomar when we were wrestling, when I took that year off, I was just in the gym. And so the gym has pretty much always been there. Obviously, I focused more on wrestling, but even throughout college when I did transfer up north, to wrestle after junior college, I was still lifting in the gym. And so any off time I had, I was, pretty much at the gym and doing basic gym lifts. So I think that passion always kind of was there. And then after college or after wrestling, I was still hitting the gym consistently. And I kind of came to a point where I was like, man, I'm just hitting the gym and it's kind of repetitive. I just wanted to do like a little bit more than just lift. And so I was kind of at a bodybuilding gym at the time. It's called the Gym Vista, and I had some other friends that were into bodybuilding. I started working out with them, and basically they kind of just started training me on the side, and that's kind of when I took the leap and started really getting into bodybuilding.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. I know. So you wrestled at multiple different weights too in college, right? So what weight did you start college at, and then what weight did you end college? 'Cause-
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy because I started my first year at junior college at
Mhm.
157,
Yeah.
157 pounds. And then my last year of college wrestling, I wrestled at 197. So it's a pretty big jump.
So you're able to
Uh,
put on size each year, right? You're like you have the like genetics or whatever, to where you were growing each year, right?
Yeah, so I always kind of had like a lengthy frame.
Hmm.
Even like coming out of high school, I was 140, or I wrestled 145 pounds. I probably cut down from 160, and I was still, I would say like 6'1", 6'2", I
Hmm.
think. But yeah, I was pretty like skinny. And so after I graduated high school, I just jumped into 157. So that was already like a little bit of a bump to what I
Hmm.
was wrestling in high school. And then after that year, I took a year off. And then when I came back, that was like a whole year of just lifting.
Hmm.
And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna just try to wrestle at 184, like at my, at my same. I was reading that comment from
From
it's
Gala.
me, yeah,
Yeah.
from Gallo. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just wrestle at 184 and feel comfortable. I've been lifting, I had the strength, and dude, I was just like, I was just doing really well at that weight because one, I was a lot quicker than everyone at that weight class, and I had already filled out. My frame was good, and at that point, I was like, all right, I'm gonna just not even cut weight. I'm gonna just put on muscle and wrestle, and cut weight minimally.
Yeah, and you're what? You ended up being like 6'4" by the time you graduated. Or
Like
what?
6'3".
6'3"?
Yeah,
You're pretty tall, man.
yeah.
Uh, all right. So, how was that transition when you finally decided that you're going to pursue bodybuilding? Like, was it a big change, like, or like mentally or physically? Like I know you said you had to adjust your workouts and stuff like that. Were there any other things that you had to adapt to?
I mean, it's everything. It's everything from like your workouts. It's a little bit more scheduled. Your like your meals, everything is kind of planned out. I mean, there is some flexibility with like some cheat meals and whatnot, but
Mhm.
um, the nutrition, I would say like the health part, and then also just mentally, because it's a huge commitment. Like a lot of people, they might be at the gym 4 or 5 times or 6 times a week, and then they're like, oh, like I want to start getting ready for bodybuilding. I want to do bodybuilding. It's kind of what they say, but they don't really know like everything that's involved,
Yeah.
It's like you got to hit every meal. You got to do your cardio. You have to train a little bit different. Like you have to really be cognizant about like the splits that you do, because
Hmm.
everything about bodybuilding, it's kind of like balancing out your body. And so, there's like some people that only like to hit arms or chest, or they'll hit like chest 2 times a week, maybe hit like do like an arm day, back day, and then they'll just go back to arms or something like that. And then
Hmm.
maybe they'll hit like legs every other week. That's a whole nother topic. But basically, a lot of people don't have like a situated split. So like for example, like for you that you're not really doing bodybuilding, what's your split right now?
Right now, man, I just get workouts in when I can. To be honest, I don't really have a split. Like I was doing push pull legs for a while, and then before that I was doing like a bro split type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But right now it's just like I go in the gym and I've been trying to do more functional stuff. So I start doing like a lot more kettlebell stuff or barbell complexes, stuff like that. And then that'll be like my workout. And then after I'll go do like some back or like some rows or something like that. Like that's like dessert. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like a
Yeah.
reward because I need to start training in a different way. Because I love going in there lifting like a bodybuilder. Uh, but I'm trying to gain back some athleticism because just putting on muscle and stuff like that, I feel like I'm getting older and stuff like that, so I'm like tightening up and stuff, trying to do jujitsu. It's like it didn't mix, like lifting heavy and getting your joints manipulated. Uh, yeah, so
Yeah.
that's basically what I do.
Yeah, it's definitely a different type of training because like for, people that do jujitsu, you're gonna want to do something a little bit more functional. But
Mhm.
for me, it's like I really just have to focus on bringing up those muscle groups. And so I'm not worried too much about functionality. Obviously, I want to keep that there, but if I'm gonna do bodybuilding and like build certain muscles, they're not gonna be as functional as if you're training for like jiu-jitsu or like wrestling.
Mhm.
And so like I've even noticed when I got like a lot bigger, my mobility started going away a little bit, and I would try to, still, I'd stretch a lot, roll out, but once you start getting certain muscle groups bigger, it's just not the most functional.
For sure.
So,
I got like a two-part question, right?
yeah.
So, what is your favorite body part to train, and then what do you think your best body part is?
Yeah, so right now, I would say my favorite body part to train would be back, just because it's
Mhm.
my biggest weakness. And so I've been putting a lot of emphasis on the back. It's kind of hard to train because you can't see your back similar to
Mhm.
other muscles, but I've really just been like learning so much about different workouts and like, different things I could do to just bring up different parts of my back, whether that be like upper back, trap area, like the thickness of the middle back, lower
Rhomboid.
lat, yeah, lower lat, rhomboids, or maybe like even rear delts, which is still kind of like back, but well,
Yeah, yeah,
it kind of complements the back.
yeah. That's
But
back. I do rear delts on shoulder days and back days whenever I do shoulders and back. It's a double
yeah.
whammy, right? It's like that's like one of the most underdeveloped muscles in most average gym goers and stuff like that because it's so small and easy to forget. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely been hitting some rear delts. Let's see. You said what do you think my biggest strength is?
Yeah, like what body part do you think like?
I would definitely say my arms. So like I've been kind of not training them as much.
Mhm.
So like what I'll do is like I'll just hit them during like back or if I hit, like chest, I'll hit tries. If I hit back, I'll do buys, but I don't really have a separate day for them because if you look at my arms, they're like pretty big, especially like my forearms and my biceps, and so they kind of almost make my shoulder look a little bit smaller. But if you're to look at just my shoulder alone, like I don't have like the smallest shoulders. It's just like my bicep is just so big. But
Yeah,
right now,
yeah,
right now I'm kind of just like fuck that. I'm gonna just grow both of them. But it's still something to be aware about because some people with like massive arms, that's still their favorite day to that's still their favorite muscle group to train, and then you can't really like balance out the body.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But for me, my biceps grow crazy. Like if I, yeah, like so when I do like biceps on pull days whenever I do back, but I probably don't work them out. That's like the least worked out body part because they'll grow big to where they'll make the back of my arm look flat, and I'll just
yeah,
start looking weird. But some people
yeah,
are okay with that, right? Like if you can get huge biceps, they love that. But it's like I want it to
yeah.
look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
and again, it's like it's kind of just like what your goal is. Like if you want to look good in a t-shirt, like you could easily just hit arms and like forearms and like look pretty sick. But that's the thing I like about bodybuilding. It's all about proportion. And so if you look at some of my older videos or older pics of my physique, like there's certain things that's not as balanced as what it is right now. Just because
mhm.
I've been bringing up certain parts to kind of match the proportion.
Okay.
Um,
That's good.
Yeah, I think since I'm not co-host, it's not showing up as live on my profile, but I don't really know how to do that.
How do you?
I
How do
think you have
you?
to co-host it. I seen you do it before, but I ended up just requesting to be in the live because I mean I'm sure it's still showing. I was just curious if you knew.
I don't know how to do that when you start. Like
Uh,
at the end, I think I could add a collaborator, but I don't know how
okay,
to do it during the thing. Because
yeah, it's all good.
that's normally how I done it.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
it's all good.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Um, I'm gonna add you as a collaborator at the end.
Okay.
I'm still learning this stuff too. So thank you for working with me. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
bro, how's that been? I know you were we talked a few like months ago. You were trying to get your content up. How's that been?
I just been trying to be more consistent. So like you get like if I'm trying to be a perfectionist, then you'll procrastinate. My thing is just like just do it, do stuff. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
I'll get better over time, right? You'll do it. If I don't like it, I'll get better each time. Like even going live, right? I just decided one day, like, hey, I want to start going live and stuff. I messaged a few people. You're one of them. Um, and you responded back. So I'm like, all right, well, on Thursdays I'm gonna try to go live and be consistent and just do it like
yeah.
that.
No,
As far as I started YouTube this year, just like my goal with a simple goal of one video per week, and then content, right? Some of the content I share on Instagram, I also share it on my YouTube channel. Still, all at 619 steps for anybody that's watching. It's just doing it, right?
yeah,
And then you learn as you go, right? You like certain things, certain content does very well, others not so well, and I don't really understand it, but over time you'll know what works and stuff like that. Um,
yeah. Yeah,
like
the biggest thing is consistency because I haven't been that consistent as of late. I've also been like consistently putting out content for like the past like 3 years or so.
yeah,
But yeah, you just kind of have to plan it out. When I first started making videos, it took me like 30 minutes to like an hour just to edit one video. But then over
yeah,
time, now I could probably edit a video in like 30 seconds just because like you kind of know how to like match the audio or add the clips in, do the transitions. It's like pretty easy once you get it figured out. But most people, they like do one video, they give up, or they just can't post videos often. Um, so yeah, I think I've just been super busy, but I always overall I've been pretty consistent with content, and
Hmm.
so I think the biggest tip for that is kind of have to start off. Maybe you do like one post a week, kind of like what you're doing. You know, you have these lives once a week,
Hmm.
and then you kind of move to like 2 times a week or like 3 times a week.
Creep it up if you can
Um,
get a yeah, if you can get ahead or whatever. Like
yeah,
like that's the same thing with the editing, right? First it's like, all right, one, even knowing how to use social media or what your phone is capable. I do all my stuff on the phone. So it's like knowing what is capable with whatever you have. And even then I started making my first few reels through like the Instagram app, right? Then there's things like CapCut that I use now. Um, I'm still learning how to use those and try to, streamline and get a little better. I am getting faster at it, but it's other things, right? Like
yeah,
being comfortable in front of the camera. Me talking to you right now makes this a lot easier than me setting up a camera and talking like directly to the phone, and there's like
yeah,
nobody there. If that's like that's weird to me, and that's hard. That's something that I'm working on and stuff like that. But it is about being consistent and just doing it. You know what I mean? I think
yeah,
that's one thing I'm that's like a breakthrough that I'm waiting for to happen with my content is when I really get comfortable with doing it, then I could actually share. Like I feel like I have a lot of knowledge that I could share and stuff like that, and it'll come off as natural, and so people can be more receptive of it. But
yeah.
just being consistent was one thing.
No, I feel that. Yeah, it's always hard to get comfortable talking. I'm trying to do that as well, but it's kind of similar. Like if I record myself, I like just hate hearing I hate hearing my voice. But you know, if I post it, it's like, dude, who cares? But yeah, I have some stuff planned too because I just got a new laptop. Eventually, I want to start doing YouTube. But yeah, like you know, especially if you've been in the gym like yourself for years,
Mhm.
you know, you have knowledge, and you got to think about it. There's people online that are comfortable, or they just start making content and just start yapping, and like, it's only because they're consistent and willing to talk to the camera.
Mhm.
But I guarantee you have more knowledge than 90% of the people talking on the camera or posting shit consistently.
For sure, but that's where you got
Uh,
to start. So that's my that this year that was like my thing. Just start January 1st. I
yeah,
start and I try to be consistent and stuff like that. So, only time will tell. Um, yeah, you post good content, man. You put out some good stuff. I like you go to
thanks,
different
bro.
gyms and stuff like that, looking good and shit, all oiled up and shit. I like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
dude. I like to just mix it up. I've been doing it for a while, so like my page has a little bit of everything. It has like lifestyle, workouts, bodybuilding, traveling, and I also like doing like some fashion ones, some fits.
good fit,
So I
man.
just kind
That
of do a
live fit,
mix.
that live
Yeah,
fit, Code Bruce, right? Code Bruce
yeah.
10. I just got a
No, no.
package. I
Hell
just
yeah,
got a
thanks,
package. I
bro.
bought one. Let me go get my stuff. I just
Okay.
bought some shit.
Yeah, it's code Bruce Live LVFT.
Now I got these pants. I got these pants. I was gonna throw it on for the live, but I don't even know what they're called. But I just got these pants right here.
Yeah, yeah, I think you had asked me about those. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they finally got back in stock, so I grabbed it. And then
Hell
I got
yeah.
this sweater. Light. It's a light little.
Yeah, yeah, dude, I use that for like warm up and cardio all the time because it's just so light. You can fit in your bag. And yeah, you're like anytime you go to the gym, like you always got to wear a pump cover. And people like don't do that and they just don't warm up. They don't have a good warm up, but that's like the biggest thing that I'd recommend doing as far as warm up, and just bring like a sweater. Long sleeves are easier, kind of like that one, because you can fit in your bag. It doesn't take up too much space. But yeah, dude, I appreciate it, and I
Yeah.
appreciate, dude, I appreciate like everyone that uses my code because when I first kind of got on, or when you first kind of get signed with a company, you kind of expect all the homies to like make orders because I mean that's what I would do if like some of my homies, but maybe just because only some of them are in the fitness space. But Yeah, you'll kind of come to find out that only a few will support you. But yeah, I don't like get mad about it or anything. I'm just appreciative of everyone that does support. Um, but yeah, it's been a fun time working with them. I've learned a lot from like the Lift Fit owner, Randall, pretty close with him. And that's kind of also what motivated me to start making content. I was making content before that, but since I got signed on with them, I was like, all right, I'm gonna just start posting consistent. I can actually show out on this brand, and they have a lot of dope stuff.
Oh
So
yeah, that's why they hired you, right? So you can like I wasn't aware of the company right before I've seen you
yeah,
promote it, and then I see you style it right when you wear it and stuff like that. They got some cool stuff,
yeah,
so I go check it out. Man, I mean, this is not the first time I bought stuff in the past from them before, and it's good. It's good quality. So I go, you know, it's a way to support you and also
yeah.
get some pretty nice stuff, man. And that's
Appreciate
dope
it.
that they were able to work. You were able to work with them. You know what I mean? It was good.
Yeah,
So. Hopefully, some more people go check out their brand and stuff like that. They got some good shit over
yeah.
there.
I even told I have a homie that I'm training right now, and a lot of people they just kind of work out in old clothes.
Mhm.
But, at some point, especially if you're trying to get serious about the gym, I always recommend getting some new gear because, you get new clothes, you go to the gym, you feel a little bit better, you look a little bit better. It looks like you go to the gym.
Yeah.
And if you've been going to the gym long enough, when you have new stuff on, it kind of like almost motivates you or helps you with the workout. At least for me too, because I feel like if you look good, you feel good, and you just have a good lift. But
I was rocking that, dog. When you get a pump, you can see the shit through the sweater. When you can see the
yeah,
pump through the sweater, it's like thin enough to where when you get a pump, you could, like
yeah, bro.
I'd go bump me to the gym sometimes, but that's like when I'm like, I'm going stupid dumb in there. I'm like. If you catch me in the gym like looking bummy, that means I'm about to go throw some fucking crazy weight around. Like,
Yeah,
if I'm trying to get a moderate workout and I'll go dress pretty nice and stuff like that. It's just a mix.
yeah,
I like that's part of the wrestler in me, I feel like, and then when you go the bodybuilding side is like, you want to go be presentable and stuff like that. So I like to do a
yeah.
mix, you know what I mean?
No, I feel
Uh,
that.
All right. I know you post a lot of nutrition stuff, right? You give a lot of insight on some of the things that you eat. I know you and your brother always grill like for
Mhm.
forever. Like you guys, so I know you guys to do that all the time.
Yeah,
Uh so what it how hard is it to stay disciplined and like on a diet and stuff like that?
it's pretty hard, but because yeah, I pretty much came from like cooking a bunch of like fire food, like eating out, and I'll still do that, like maybe for my cheat meal. But it's definitely been a transition because even like my twin brother Lee, he still be like cooking fire stuff. I'm
Mhm,
over here eating like chicken and rice or like ground turkey, and I would say like I'm pretty good at cooking, so I
mhm,
make the food tastes pretty good, but you can only make it so good because it's pretty much chicken breast, and who wants to eat like dry chicken breast? But I'll like grill it and stuff. But yeah, I would say that's probably the hardest part about bodybuilding is shifting to a strict diet because it's anywhere from like 4 to 6 meals a day depending on your body,
mhm,
and you just gotta be committed, and you'll kind of hear some people, they'll be super motivated
mhm,
and they kind of have like this weekend motivation where they're like fuck it, I'm gonna lock in, send me a meal plan, like I'll follow it, trust me. And then I'll send them a meal plan, and most people can't get past 2 weeks because you kind of follow the regimen, but you're already thinking about donuts, crumble cookies, steak, and so you kind of just have to ease into any meal plan that you do. And
mhm,
so, like, say, let me see, like, say you like going out to eat,
mhm,
you can kind of start off with like, all right, every week I'm gonna limit it to 3 times a week that I'll eat out, and then after a couple weeks, then you go down to two, And then finally, once you adapt to that, then it's like, all right, I'll have one cheat meal on Saturday or on the weekend.
Mm.
All the other days I'll lock in. And so the way I do it, maybe like when I was in the off season, I would be structured Monday through Friday, and then on Saturday and Sunday I'd be kind of lax. But during prep, it's pretty spot on. I would say overall, it takes about I think it takes about 2 to 3 months for someone to like really get locked into a diet because like I was messaging you a couple months ago because I know it's kind of hard for you to like really lock into a diet.
Yeah,
You need to you need to be following that diet for like 2 months, and then after that 2 months mark, like you'll be good. You're like you'll think about different food, but it'll be long enough to where you're like, all right, I can follow this, and have cheat meals here and there.
for
And
sure.
then even longer, like when you're at like 4 or 5 months, it's like yeah, I can do this like for a long time. And even when I was getting closer to my show,
Mhm.
afterwards, it almost felt weird to eat unhealthy because I was, eating healthy for 12 weeks. Or,
Like
yeah,
it was for me like most of my life I would always make like pretty healthy food choices. It's just like later it was like you know how hard it is for me to get out of eating bad. It was just that hard to get into it. It's
yeah,
crazy. It's like but then once I developed those bad habits and stuff like that, now I'm trying to break it. I generally eat pretty well. Uh, but I fuck with crumble. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
like crumble. You know what I'm saying? So I know all the information. It's just the fact about doing it and denying or depriving yourself. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because it's like for me, I think setting goals is just like with no like end or purpose, right? Like I'm not preparing for a show, right? So then
yeah,
it's like I could eat healthy and stuff, but it's like no, I feel good. I could have what I want. I don't necessarily need to deprive myself. And I know
yeah,
that's an excuse. I do want to do a show in the future, so that means at some point, right? Whenever I'm ready to lock in, I know that I'm gonna lock in. Right now, I'm just like
yeah,
being a dad, working and doing that kind of stuff. I want to get regain my functional ability or whatever. So,
yeah.
you know, there's gonna be a time where I come back around and so what are your calories like generally? Because most people say they want to get big, but they don't eat big, right? I eat so much food. It's like no you don't. You don't
Yeah,
eat enough to grow, right? So what is your
yeah.
calorie intake right now?
Yeah, this is something that a lot of people ask me, like no matter
Or
what size
ballpark?
they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, low-key, I've been on a meal-based diet for like a while, but you just kind of have to do it based on your weight. Obviously, everyone knows like the protein goal should be like 1.5 times your weight, and then yeah, it just really depends on the body type. Me, I was doing for sure over 4,000 calories.
Hmm.
But some of the carbs, like it wasn't a lot of sugars. It was like a lot of maybe like rice, veggies, oats. And so depending on how lean you are, like you can throw in more fats, but sugars is really going to be like the thing that you kind of want to stay away from.
Hmm.
But going back to your point, if you're not tracking what you're eating, then you're definitely not gaining weight because people who want to gain weight, like I don't think they understand that you have to eat what you're eating right now to maintain your body weight, but you have to eat more. And so, a lot of people will be like, "Oh yeah, I eat a ton. Like, I'm just eating a lot wherever I go." I'm like, yeah, you could do it that way, but it's not like it's going to be hard to track progress because you have to know exactly how much you're eating, and then you have to progressively add on to that. Every week you kind of want to track your weight, but yeah, I think that's overall. I think that's why I love bodybuilding is because you can almost track that change a little bit more efficiently, and you can track it over time, and that's why. Like people look at me and be like, "Damn, like he's fit, doesn't need a coach." But I pay for a coach every month because I'm
Hmm.
trying to. There's levels to it. And I'm trying to get to a higher level,
Right.
and so I always, I recommend to anyone trying to make progress to get a coach or just get someone to keep them accountable. Because at this point, I could do my own bulk or I could diet, but I really just want someone to keep me accountable and just lead me in the right direction to one, save money and do it in a quicker amount of time than if I were to do it myself. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, when it comes to discipline or gaining, you kind of have to have that long-term goal because, like what you said, if you've been saying you want to gain weight for the past year, and there's people that say that like, oh, I'm just trying to get bigger, I'm just trying to get bigger, I'm trying to get shredded, but it's like they don't really have a time frame in mind, and so they're just gonna go in this cycle where it's like, oh, they might bulk up for a couple weeks, and then like they'll fall off for a week, and then
Hmm.
they'll just kind of go in that same cycle.
Yeah.
And so you definitely have to track it pretty precise,
Mm.
not 100%, because when I was bulking, it wasn't 100%, but it was pretty close. It was like 90, 95%, and you can still see progress with that as long as you have it planned out.
And once you get good at nutrition, you can kind of estimate it. I think
Yeah,
bulking too, you're eating like the right foods, right? You have your macros mapped out, like the amount of
yeah,
each one, right? Proteins, fats, and carbs,
yeah,
and then you're just going up to the next level. Then you're not eating only when you're hungry, especially if you're bulking. You're gonna sometimes you're not gonna be hungry, and you still got to get that meal in. You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
why it's scheduled out. You know what I mean? It's like in
Oh,
order
for
to get all
sure.
my meals in, I need to eat at these times. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
then if something comes up in life where you miss that meal, you got to put it in with another meal. Now you're eating twice as much
yeah,
food.
yeah,
You know what I
dude.
mean? When you don't want to, it's like people don't understand that, and I think for most of my career as an athlete or when I was younger, I was trying to put on the weight. So I've never been on the side where I'm trying to lose weight. So I think that's where some of the difficulties that I'm having right,
Yeah,
like I've been having, because I never had to lose weight. I was always trying to gain weight. So I know how to put on weight. I know how to put on muscle. But now that I'm a fucking like I got my body's like a little bit off track.
yeah,
I gotta figure out how to, go back down the other way, which I know what it is. Gotta lock in. I've done it. I've done it. Like I was thinking when I started working back out again, I was like 306. Then I got down to like 295. I stayed there for a while. Now I'm at like 290. I've gotten as low as like 270, to like 270, 269, and then now I'm back up. You know what I mean? So it
yeah,
fluctuates. Like there's periods where I lock in for a certain amount of time, and then I don't really have any end goal or whatever, anything that I'm preparing for, which you shouldn't need that. Like, but I hadn't created the habits long enough to where there was a lifestyle change, right? It was just
yeah,
I was practicing something and it wasn't like set yet, and then I kind of backslid. So it's gonna be cycles of that. That's what I train people. I was actually looking into getting a nutrition coach. I got a couple people that I've been talking to. It doesn't say anything against my knowledge. I know what I know. You can know all the shit. Doing it is another story, right? And it's that accountability factor, right? Someone that understands it, right? You can express yourself to them so you can give them an idea like how your body works, and then you guys come up with a plan, and they hold you accountable to that plan, and that's what you're paying for. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And
bro. It's that simple, you know. Yeah, I was actually thinking about that before this meeting because I know you never really had to cut weight, but you pretty much just have to be in a deficit. I mean, you already know how to do it. You just have to be in that deficit and commit to it. But yeah, it is pretty simple. I think after doing some preps, it's pretty simple. People just like to kind of overcomplicate it and think that there's like a certain thing that you need to eat. Yeah, you do have to eat, lean protein. You can't be eating was it like bacon or like things that just aren't lean. But it is pretty simple. It's just about portion. I'm weighing out every portion to the ounce or to the gram, and it's pretty simple. Like if you just lower it, you kind of see how your body reacts. But everyone's a little bit different with their body type, and you kind of have to adjust that. but most bodybuilders are eating, the same stuff.
Yeah, it's
Ground
boring. It's pretty
turkey,
boring
yeah, ground turkey, chicken breast, tilapia, like oatmeal, cream of rice, and there's different things, but yeah, overall, I think the biggest thing for me, and I think this is the one thing that I could do a lot better than probably 90% of people, is really just commit to it because if you want like a certain body or if you want a certain look, like you just have to tell yourself that you're gonna do whatever it takes to do that, and you can't make any excuses because that's like the main thing is like you just have to tell yourself like, oh, I'm gonna do this shit and I'm gonna get it done. Because if in your mind you're already telling yourself that, damn, this is hard, or damn, I'm never gonna get shredded, I'm never gonna lose 30 pounds, I'm never gonna put on 20 pounds, and you're already doubting yourself. You kind of have to just tell yourself that you're fucking gonna do it, whatever it takes. Because similar to what you were saying about the meals, like when I was bulking, I'd stay up if I didn't have my meals planned out, which a lot of times I kind of didn't because I was working throughout the day. I'd be up at like 11 just throwing down like fucking 2 cups of rice and like 8 ounces of chicken breasts, and I was just like force feeding myself. But a lot of people aren't willing to do that, but you have to do, certain things to look different than everyone else.
for sure.
So
Especially if you want to, right? Like I used to bring food with me. I used to like bring fucking food, chicken and rice and little Tupperwares and stuff like that. I've been locked in before, man, and I understand the battles of it, especially as we get older, right? When we're in school and stuff like that, our responsibilities were like lower than what they are now, right? So
yeah,
when I'm dealing with clients and stuff, when I worked in the gym and stuff like that, when I train people, they have life stuff going on, and it's like you have to plan. What your day is like looking like.
yeah,
You have to plan to adjust it to where your goals are. So if you know you're gonna be busy and you're not gonna have time, you need to bring the food with you, right? So you're making healthy choices and not grabbing fast food. I like, you know what I mean? And I don't
yeah,
I don't always do that, right? But I know what I should be doing, but I don't always do it. But those are things that you generally know that you just don't do, and that's the accountability factor that comes in there. I think I
yeah.
think let's let's get a little past that. I think we covered that pretty good.
Yeah, just to cap that off, you just have to either prepare for the meals so
Mhm.
that you're not tempted to get something else. And then on the other side of that, I always tell people if you're trying to stay healthy and eat the right things at your house, buy the right things. Don't be buying ice cream or like unhealthy snacks at your house thinking you're not going to eat them. That's why I don't buy anything because like I don't like to waste food. So if it's there, I'm gonna eat it, but I just don't buy it.
All right, let's talk about your first show, right? How many shows have you done so far?
I don't know if I really count my first one,
Uh-huh.
just because like it was only a 4 week prep, and most shows are like at least like a 10, 12 week prep.
Hmm.
So the last one I did, I would say that was my first official show with like a full prep.
Okay, and how did that go? Describe how that went.
Yeah, I took second in my class.
Okay.
But yeah, I first had some homies that were, their coaches as well, but they were helping me through the prep from the start. And then about 8 weeks out, I ended up going with like a pretty legit coach.
Hmm.
And so at that point, I really locked in, followed everything I needed to do. And yeah, I just kind of followed the plan. Um, there was a lot of things throughout the prep that I kind of had to go through.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm glad I did it, and I felt like I had a pretty good look at the end of it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's what's up, bro. And when do you plan on your next show being?
Yeah, so originally I was going to do one in June. Well, I'm still doing one in June. I actually haven't really told, well, I've told a couple people. So originally I was going to do one in June on June 7th in San Diego.
Yeah.
But I actually just found out that I'm going to be moving to Houston next month. So I decided to push out the show to one in Houston on June 21st.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I
Yeah.
seen you went to what? Was it Alpha Land out there or something like that?
Yeah, that was Alpha Line. It was
How
real
was that?
quick.
How
It
was
was
that?
cool. It was it's a pretty nice gym.
Hmm.
I think it got a little bit overhyped over COVID because, yeah, it was dope, but it wasn't like crazy, like wow, like, it's just another gym. And I think they have a lot of other gyms over there now that I just, I haven't been to, but yeah, I'm excited to check out those other gyms as well.
I think Texas is like they have like a lot of different gyms out there, like a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
I see you train. You train. I see you train like at a bunch of gyms. Like I like doing that too.
Yeah.
Going to most of the time when I post, I'm going to generic gyms, like commercial gyms and stuff like that. But I want to start going to some like private or independent gym, bodybuilding gyms, stuff
Yeah.
like that to move around. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the commercial gyms aren't bad, but man, sometimes it's tough because you kind of you have a lot of people that aren't as experienced in
Hmm.
those commercial gyms, and sometimes like, I feel like a dick saying it, but sometimes I'll kind of mess up my workout because their like gym etiquette is just a little bit off. I know that like I respect them because they're trying to get their work in, but some of them are just on a machine for like way too long. They're working out with like five other people. And when you go to a bodybuilding gym, one, they have better equipment, and then two, people are a little bit more like aware of those type of things. But yeah, the one reason why I also go to a bunch of gyms is because my girlfriend actually lives in LA, so
Hmm.
we usually see each other like every other weekend. And
Hmm.
so she, like, when I go there, I'll do like a day pass or like I'll go to her gym. And then when she's over here, we'll go to uh, different gyms over here. But yeah, I feel like that's something that we've been doing lately, is just checking out new gyms. So
Yeah, that's dope. I like the idea of that. You're right. They got different equipment you get to use and try out and stuff like that. And then gym etiquette, that's been a pandemic since the pandemic. Like
yeah,
the gyms are fuller now. Like you see more people at the gym, which I love that. But the gym etiquette is off. Like people are rude. Like and it's foreign, right? Like somebody's working on something and like they're by themselves and they're on their phone. It's like, hey, can I work in with you? They look at you like you're fucking asking
yeah,
something crazy. I'm like, no, it saves time. Like while you're resting, I can use a machine and then or whatever, and then we could just work out. You know what I mean? But it's
yeah.
like I don't know how people were raised in the gym. Like I started working out when I was young, and there were just certain things that you were taught about the gym that some people don't have these days. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, I give them props for, going to the gym and, working on themselves, but yeah, some people just don't have as much experience. And on top of that, I kind of mind my own business at the gym, but
Hmm.
like, and you probably deal with this too, because like you're pretty massive. But sometimes, and I'm not even the biggest person, but I am like pretty big out of like a normal crowd. And so like sometimes I'll just like see people kind of just like looking at me weird, like, damn, like this boy like on road rage or some shit like that, or just like random shit. So I always get like random looks like that, and I'm just like, like,
Yeah,
mm,
I say to myself, I've been trying to talk to people more in the gym, but most of the time I throw headphones. If I don't go to the gym to work out with someone, which I like doing now, but I'll be by myself, headphones in, and I'll be locked in
yeah,
and stuff like that. Like I I don't think I'm as presentable or approachable as I once was before. Like when I was younger, people would come up, "Hey man, how you get so big?" Thing? Now, that still happens, but it's a lot rare because people don't approach me. Like I don't think I come
yeah. No,
off
I'm
as
the same
approachable.
way. Like, I would say, like, I'm pretty serious when it comes to the gym because, like,
Mhm.
one, I don't like talking to people for like 10 minutes because I'm always my pump. And so I just like really to myself, and like I almost kind of give off that look to where it's like, all right, just don't bother me. Most of the time it works. So,
Mhm. Yeah, the gym is for you, right? You're there for you. It's some like I get some like it's me time, mental health benefits, right? You're you're working through your life, my stuff in my head while I'm working out. I'm fucking checking out yourself in the mirror, like damn, this shit's working. It's like yeah, this shit's working. I'm about to be slow. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Uh, Going off of that, right? Do you think like all right? Has bodybuilding changed who you are as a person? I know you said it make like you're locked in more, so I guess there was like I think I've always known you to be a disciplined person, Do you think it's made you more disciplined, or has it changed anything else about your life or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, more discipline for sure,
Hmm.
but it's kind of always been a lifestyle. I think it's more of like the bodybuilding community. That's pretty dope that I love because everyone um, like when you're at the gym and you're like not in like a bodybuilding community, people are like kind of like envious or they like talk shit or everyone's kind of doing their own thing. But like in bodybuilding, everyone like has that same goal of like just getting bigger, like growing. And so it's like a pretty dope community. But I think the discipline already started when I
Hmm.
was in wrestling, when we were in wrestling,
Yeah.
because everyone knows that, it's pretty hard. And so like when I was on like low carb on my first show, it's like not even that hard because I used to cut weight. Like we used, well, I forgot you didn't cut
I
weight when you were wrestling, but
See, that's what makes me like. So I can get on. That's what I can get on a meal plan, right? But after
yeah,
like a few weeks to where you get to that point, because after a certain while you gotta get in a deeper deficit, right? Then it's
yeah,
like then it's for me. Then it's like I'm fucking hungry, right? And then I'll either go nibble on something, even if it's something healthy. But then now I need to be in a bigger deficit. So I can only imagine what cutting weight is, and it's like I never had to do that shit, which
yeah, yeah. So I mean, since I did it in wrestling and cut weight so much, I feel like the discipline portion um, is a little bit easier in bodybuilding. But I would say to continue on from doing, college wrestling or sports, it kind of just gives me a little bit more purpose on what I do, day to day. And so it's not like, all right, I'm gonna hit the gym 5 days a week, go out on the weekend, or I'll see like, what I want to do. It's kind of more structured. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna, obviously hit the gym, but I'm making progress every week. And then you have that long-term goal of what you want to achieve. And that's why I needed something like bodybuilding after coming from such like a competitive environment in
Mhm.
college wrestling
Yeah.
for me to be able to compete and stay focused on what I want to do rather than just kind of work and work out
Yeah, that's
and live
something that
life.
I'm looking forward to. Like I need also that thing where I said there's no end. Like I keep saying that. Like I'm not training for anything specific. Like
Yeah,
I think I've done what is it? Last year I did a jujitsu competition, my first one. I want to do another one towards the end of this year, and I would like to go into it lighter. I'm not gonna get into the next lower weight class, but I just want to be in better shape, right? So I want to bring down my weight, and that's gonna be my motivation to get into better shape, right?
yeah.
And then I'll keep adding things because I'll keep adding things as I need it. How how has it so you said you have a more structured life. You plan basically your life around, but because that's your main focus now. How has that affected your personal relationships? Because some you eat a certain way, and the people around you may not necessarily be eating a certain way. So when you go out,
Yeah.
or you have to turn down offers, certain things.
Yeah, this one is a little bit um more difficult, but for me, like my girlfriend's been great about like sticking with the plan. And so like when I'm on prep, she'll be like she's down to eat the same food. She does cardio. Sometimes she does more cardio than me. So like I think it's a lot easier if you have someone like that in your life, but there's always going to be those outside influences, like because I like going to like a lot of music events and whatnot. So
Yeah.
like I'll always have like people, doing that. But you just kind of have to have a balance, and the more like people see you committed to it, they're not going to try to pull you away from it. And you also just kind of have to surround yourself with the right people that will respect, what you want to do. And so, yeah, it's pretty much it. Like people know that when I'm locked in, I lock in, and they'll invite me, but every time that I say no, they're gonna eventually stop asking. But when I am, down to do something, then they'll know that, I'm there to have a good time, and then eventually I'm gonna lock back in. But it kind of goes in cycles. So after my show, like I was wanting to do a national show, so I kind of had that planned out. It didn't work out, so I went into a bulking phase. But during that bulking phase, I was already kind of planning out, all right, like bulk for like 3, 4 months, try to hit this show in May. I ended up wanting to keep growing, or like life happens, like something, I don't know, you need to like save up money for the show, or you just feel like you need to grow more. And then so you kind of just plan out even further what you want to do. But that's why I'm always a little bit more calculated on what I want to do and have it planned out, further out. But I think overall, I already know in my head, all right, I'm going to compete again this year. And at some point, I'm just going to lock in for, the next 10, 12 weeks.
All right, for sure. I got like a couple more questions before we
Yeah.
start wrapping this up. Um, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years in this lifestyle that you have now?
Yeah, I mean, bodybuilding does take time. I'm trying to obviously I'm trying to get my pro card within the next 2 years, and so 5 years from now, if I stick with it, I want to go to the Olympia or qualify for the Olympia. I think for me, like if I'm doing bodybuilding, anything I do 100%. So I'm not just going to do bodybuilding to take shows and, you know, maybe win like a local show. My
Hmm.
goal is always to, be at that top level. And so I'm going to do anything I can for the next couple years to make that happen. And if it doesn't happen, then, I'm going to move on. Because yeah, bodybuilding is pretty tough on your body, and it's not something that's easy. It's not like golf where when you can just do it year round and it's like pretty easy. One, it's super expensive. Two, it's pretty hard on your body. Like I go through a good amount of injuries here and there.
Hmm.
And then dude, like who wants to always be on prep? Like I'm trying to like I like to travel and like do other things. Like I want to eventually start my own business. And so everything, like I have long-term goals, but everything is kind of planned out a little bit. But yeah, to answer your question, I think I have the frame to, be at that highest level. I just have to fill it out and, stay committed to it.
For sure. I believe you have the frame and the body and the genetics to accomplish those things too. We got to get a back workout in, man. I got some little
Yeah,
tips and tricks for you, man. But
ready, I'm
I
down.
really do think that you can do well in the sport. Yeah, and then I think
Appreciate that.
I haven't competed. I know there's a lot of local shows. I do think there is an important way, like you map out your path to get to the Olympia or the big goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is a good tip for anybody that's watching that wants to pursue bodybuilding. Map it out.
Yeah. So the reason why I chose my coach is he coaches people every year at the Olympia that, people that qualify. And
Uh,
so the way we mapped it out, the way you have to, so to get your pro card, you have to like be top one or two usually at a national level show. So
mhm,
right now I'm qualified for a national level show until like July, 1 year from my last show.
mhm,
But since what's it called? Since there's not a nationals before that date, I'm pretty much going to requalify. That way, I'll have a year to do like a few national shows. But obviously, you want to plan that you're going to get your pro card. You want to hope that you're going to get your pro card the first national show. But most of the time, it takes a couple. So, like with my coach, he wants me to requalify, have a few planned out, and then you know plan out that way.
And is there any like weight limits like for your height? What is your weight limit and what class are you?
Yeah, so the weight limit for men's physique isn't incorporated until you're
Uh,
at the pro level. But once you're pro, I think for 6'3", I think it's like 230 or like 235. So, but that's like obviously cut down, like water out and everything. So yeah, I'm not really too worried about the weight.
What are
Um,
you? I know you at your. What are you at right now?
right now, I did drop because I've been cutting for like the past 4 weeks. I think I'm at
Uh-huh.
like 235.
Okay. Yeah, you never blow up too. That's one thing that when people talk about bulking, right? You don't want to put on a lot of fat when you're bulking. So you
Yeah.
want to. That's what you got to manage your macros to where you're putting on size, but it's muscle and it's just not empty size and stuff. That's gonna just make it harder to lose
Yeah,
the next
because
time.
yeah, people don't know that it's easier to put on more muscle when it's like a lean bulk.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can put on muscle for like a dirty bulk, but like that's why when people do a bodybuilding show, they do a reverse diet because when you're cut down and then you start feeding more food into your body, that's the best time when you can like build muscle and like put that protein in right places and do that reverse diet. So
Because you're depriving your body, and then it's gonna get hungry. So when you start putting those
yeah,
nutrients and stuff in after a show,
yeah,
that makes sense. You know what I mean? That is.
yeah. But if you're eating like a pack of cookies and like that's not gonna do anything for your body, especially after the show. But
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to promote? Tell the people that are watching, like your social, how to find you, any business or if you want to promote, you got coaching and stuff, right? If you
yeah.
guys don't want to get coached by me, you get coached by Bruce. You know, he knows his shit too. It's just
Yeah, follow me on IG or TikTok, the Bruce V. Even if you don't want to get training, I usually post videos about like workout videos, also like some nutrition. But yeah, for anyone trying to make some progress, I also do more of like a lifestyle training just to keep people accountable. It's like nutrition, also workouts. I'll do in person for select areas, but yeah, if you're looking to take that gym workout or the gym gains to the next level, I could definitely help out. Or if you're trying to lock down a diet or just need some motivation, hit me up.
you have YouTube.
Not yet, but it's in the works. Like I said, I just
Sure.
got my computer, but I've been super busy, so I'm just kind of waiting for the right time. I know it's never the right time, but I want to be able to like post consistently on there. And so once I'm a little bit more situated, again, I have a camera, like I have a laptop, I have ideas. I just want to make sure I have enough time just to fulfill that. Because for the past couple months, I've been more so focusing on work because like I need to bring the money in.
Mhm.
And there was a time where I just kind of focused more on the content, but then I would kind of, fall back on work. So certain things I have to prioritize, but obviously fitness is one of my biggest priorities. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I understand it, and I have the same issues. And um,
Uh,
I want to thank you for coming on and having this talk. Hopefully, anybody that's watching can learn something from like our talk today. You know what I mean? I really appreciate it. And yeah, man. What is it? Code Bruce 10. Live
no,
fit.
it's Bruce LVFT. But yeah,
Oh,
you'll
LBFT.
see on my
My bad.
profile. Yeah, man. If you're ever, well, damn, I'm not even gonna be in San Diego, but if you ever want to visit Houston when I'm over there, get a workout. Obviously, there's some sick gyms over there, and then yeah, when I'm bulking again, bro, we're gonna catch this catch weight wrestling match. Like, get your ass.
Dog, dog, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Nah, bro.
I'm used to being a big boy, dog. You got
Yeah.
used to this. You're not ready, man. You got to get to
Hey, but
260. You might need to get to 260
hey,
before
but
you can. You know what I mean?
bro, I wrestled you at 180. I'll be fine at 250.
Yeah, you did. You
So
did. You're not scared, but that means I'm not to try hard, and I might fuck you
nah,
up, man.
well, I already know you try hard because you're already using all your muscle when I was 180.
Oh
So
yeah.
do what you want. But yeah,
Hey, man,
we're gonna have that catch weight.
you got to get back in that gym, get your swole on, man. And then I've been learning jujitsu and shit. I might choke you out, dog.
Yeah, bro. I
Look,
mean,
Eric's on here. I might choke you out, dog, on accident. You know what I'm saying? I might get the
Well,
little homie, my little baby. I might get my little baby on you.
you gotta let me know if it's a wrestling match or a jiu-jitsu match. But
It's
yeah,
a
we can do it.
match. What is it? Catch wrestling is a
How about
thing.
the yeah, we can do whatever you want. 3 takedowns, we can do
I
10
definitely want to
points.
link. I definitely want to link up with you to get a workout in for sure. Like I know I'm excited because I know we used to work out a couple times in the past and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward. I'm really am because it's different working out with people that like love the shit. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
different.
no,
It's different.
for sure. Yeah.
All right, man.
But yeah, anyone that wants to make gains, try to find some good workout partners too, because they'll really, you know, help you out, get you
Yeah,
bigger. But because like I have a lot of people that hit me up, and I'm always willing to work out with them, but they just gotta be on time and be committed. Because first time I hear some excuses or you're late, probably never working out with you. So
yeah, for sure. Then training like that's something that I took for granted, right? When you're younger and you have freedom and flexibility in your schedule and you live with your gym bro, it's easy to go get that right. But once you separate and you have your life and you got stuff going on, it's hard to find. If you find a gym partner, you need to take advantage of that because that's like a
yeah,
huge plus in the gym. Someone that's gonna
yeah, you
push
have
you.
to.
Somebody's gonna push you that that's not gonna let you rack it. They're gonna spot you so you can get couple 2 3 extra reps. That's where you grow. That's where you grow. That's something that
Yeah,
a lot of people
bro.
don't understand either.
That's how you gotta do it. Well, yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. Bro, there's a bunch of stuff that we can still talk about, I'm sure. But yeah, there's just a lot of different things about the gym and bodybuilding. But
For sure, man. Thanks
yeah.
again. All right,
All right, bro. Yeah, I'll catch you later.
for sure. Peace.
All right, later.